Welcome back to the Salina Bicentennial Center as we get set for the second match for the Hoisington Lady Cardinals. Hoisington fell to Southeast of Saline in match number 1, 25-15 and 25-15. Southeast of Saline just finished a match against the number 1 seed Garden Plain. Southeast of Saline led that match almost the entire way until late in it before Garden Plain put a little run on and pulled out the victory in game 1, 25-23, and it was all Garden Plain in game number 2, 25-18. So currently, Garden Plain is 2-0 in pool play. Southeast of Saline is 1-1 in pool play. Hoisington and Marysville, the two teams getting set to take the floor here on GreatMenPost.com, are both 0-1. This is very crucial for both of these clubs, the number 4 seed Hoisington and Marysville, number 8. Both these teams, again, were here last year at the state tournament where Marysville advanced to the semifinals and lost to defending state champion Hillsboro, and then went on to the consolation match and lost to Phillipsburg. It will join on the broadcast by our play-by-play guy from Salina with our Salina Eagle Communications Group, Mr. Devin Haney. He does the play-by-play coverage for Southeast of Saline. So welcome in, Devin. This is kind of an interesting ordeal for us as we were on separate networks in match 1 between Hoisington and Southeast, but now we get to roll them up each and every match the rest of the night. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you very much, Steve. This has been a fun pool to watch, and right now, when you look at both ends of the spectrum, Garden Plain is in a position of power. Obviously, they're out 2-0. They have not lost yet. Hoisington is the team that is probably struggling for a little bit of we need to get out of the basement type material. They have a loss, but it wasn't to the number 1 seed Garden Plain as Southeast of Saline and Marysville's losses were. They lost to Southeast of Saline. So right now, Garden Plain has to stand up here against Marysville and let them know that they are going to be a contender here, and they're going to make this thing messy for whoever gets to go along with Garden Plain to the semifinals tomorrow. So should be interesting to see how not only this matchup here between Hoisington and Marysville plays out, but also the Southeast Marysville matchup that's up next after this one.
And we're just underway. Marysville takes the early 1-0 lead. Both teams in red, but Hoisington does not have the pink socks, and that will be Marysville. Both teams look really almost alike, and we are tied up just alike at 1 apiece. It's the Marysville Lady Bulldogs. They're out of the NCKL League, North Central Kansas League.
Marysville is the only Class 3A team in the NCKL. They play teams throughout the year like Clay Center, Wamego, Abilene, Concordia, Chapman. When I say a couple of those names like Concordia and Abilene, those are teams that are 4A state powers year in and year out. So this is a team that is used to playing very good competition in their league in Class 4A are the Marysville Bulldogs.
2-1, Marysville continues to lead and serves. Lowry over the net. Marysville sets it back up, and it's bumped out of bounds behind her. And that's Lockwood, the 5'9 junior, number 13 for Hoisington. You're listening to and watching our video stream, web TV coverage on GreatMenPost.com. Thank you to all of our sponsors to help make it possible. Sanders tries to get a tip over the net, and she does. It falls in front of a Marysville player.
That was an athletic play there by Sanders. She was actually running towards the net, and for her to get that ball in the vacant spot where there wasn't a Marysville defender and also keep her body out of the net, it was a very athletic play, lots of ball control, and it was an impressive point. Now Marysville will hit one out of bounds long. That's their big hitter, Steve, Tristan Wicks. Almost every set goes to Tristan Wicks. She's a junior, 6'2".
Wow, 6'2", and you see the power that she brings to the table. Lowry with the set serve, right-handed, over to Wick. Wick's power serve, power hit is into the net. So Wick doesn't have much control, but when she does get it over the net, it is powerful. Hoisington has taken the lead 4-3 in game number 1 here. Match number 2 for both of these clubs. Both teams lost their opening matches of the day. Lowry to serve again. She does, and it falls right in for an ace, right in front of the back row player. That's Paige Landau, the 5'4" junior.
Not a lot of communication that time by Marysville. Everybody just kind of turned and looked at each other, and the ball dropped right in the middle of the crowd.
Right back over to Wicks. Can Wicks get hold of this one? She does, but there's Riedel with the save off the back row, and now the hit by Sanders goes long out of bounds. Serve and point back to Marysville, who now trails 5-4 to Hoisington. Tim Woodcock, Ethan Woodcock, Landon Harmon, and Peter McCool all bringing the coverage here on our live web TV camera. Big hit by Wicks, and it's saved though off that back row again by Riedel, but it goes out of bounds. Sheehall, number 21, could not run it down for Hoisington. Marysville has tied it back up at 5 apiece.
I don't want to call Marysville one-dimensional, Steve, but when they go to their power game and they go for the big kills, they go to Wicks. And if Hoisington does not have somebody at the net with her that can contend with her, they're not going to stop Marysville from scoring points here. They have to have somebody at the net that is there to block Wicks' shots because, as you said, when she clears the net, she is very, very powerful.
Abby Damel, the 5'6" sophomore, comes in for Sheehall. Cadel Riedel serves, point Hoisington off of the serve. Marysville could not get it back over the net. Hoisington's up 2 now, 7-5, and there you see the difference. If Wicks is really the only player that Marysville has on the offense.
And when you look at matchups, when you look ahead to the Southeast Marysville game after this one, Southeast, I like their chances because their middle net blockers against Wicks, I think, will have some success, where Southeast has a lot of different hitters they can go to. Wicks can't cover them all, so here early, Hoisington's flexing their muscle a little bit against Marysville. They're up 8-5 here in the early going. That's going to prompt a timeout from Marysville and their head coach, Jason Tynon.
Marysville has been here before by making it here to this tournament last year. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank more of our sponsors of Hoisington volleyball coverage here at the state tournament. Cardinal Bowl, Cardinal Pharmacy, and also Boxberger Automotive Services. Timeout called by Marysville. Marysville last year had a couple of players make it to the all-tournament team, but they were seniors, so they do not advance to get to play this year. Timeout by Marysville doesn't help them. Hoisington comes right out of that timeout and is able to secure serve and another point.
That was a dirty point there. I call those dirty serves by Michaela Riedel. Her serve barely got over the net. It just crawled over the ledge, and nobody from Marysville was there to be able to poke it back over.
Hoisington up 9-5, trying to make it 10-5. Jordan Moore, the sophomore, almost did. She gets another chance right here, but they call a double hit on the setter. Setter is Abby Sheehall, just a junior, but she was all-tournament player last year at the state tournament as a sophomore. Back to serve in the pink socks. Marysville kind of confused me. They showed up in orange shirts here today, and I'm not used to seeing Marysville in orange. Sheehall, cross court, over to Sanders. No, that's Damel. Damel gets it in, but it's saved by Marysville at the back row, but they cannot bring it home. It's hit long by the 5'7" junior, Catlin Larkin. 10-6 now, Hoisington. Moore serves. Looks over to Coach Mingesser, and he calls out the number he wants her to send the serve to. Marysville, good communication and getting the ball over the net, but there is Hoisington right back at him. Point to the Lady Cardinals. Nice hit right in the middle of the net by Ashley Lockwood. That's where Hoisington does a lot of their damage, right there in the middle. Moore continues with a nice serve. Going up for the double block. It's blocked though off the net. It goes out of bounds. Nope, they say it did go off of the arms of one of the Hoisington blockers up at the net.
Yeah, Jordan Lockwood up there, Steve, along with her teammate, setting a block at the net. It looked like it was Abby Demel up there with her, and they blocked it and went out of bounds on the sideline.
Damel with the set in the middle up to Sheehall. She'll bump it up for Moore. Moore has to jump from the back row because she's playing back row hitter. But she hits it long, goes out of bounds. So Marysville will get to serve, gaining a point, but trailing 11-8 here in match number 2 for both clubs. Off the back row, Riedel, the libero for Hoisington, tries to bump it up for a set to Sheehall, but she bumps it into the net. and Sheehaw cannot control it.
That set had some wicked backspin on it too, Steve. That would have been hard to handle anyway, but it's just barely scraped the net and then rolled back down the net on Hoisington's side.
There's a nice set by Sheehaw, but maybe a little strong. Damel couldn't come down with it. Now Damel goes up for the block, and also there with it is Lockwood, and the ball is blocked right down at their feet on their own side. So Marysville still serves, only trailing now by 1. They can tie it up on this serve. Right into the net, though. Service error. Marysville.
Julia Ann Beeman that time could not get her serve to clear the net. And now Hoisington will take over. Hoisington still clinging to a 2-point lead here. Now they'll have service.
With Sheehaw serving, a nice jump serve. Now Riedel to Sheehaw, up strong. Lockwood. Lockwood is blocked at the net. Right back to Lockwood. And then into the net is Lockwood. They say Sheehaw was into the net. Sheehaw was into the net, so they call an error there on Hoisington. Ball back over to Marysville, and the Bulldogs trail by 1. Sheehaw sets it right in the middle to Lockwood. Lockwood just tips it over the net, right into the middle of the floor, and it falls home for a point. Lady Cardinals.
That play's all about vision, Steve. When you see that play, it's a finesse play. It's all about seeing what's in front of you when you go up to kill that ball. Knowing that if there's a blocker there, you still have an alley to drop it in there softly, and that's just a finesse play. It's all about vision.
Trying to save it is Moore, but she cannot run it down, and Mr. Woodcock will save it here on our side. As you can tell from the video stream, you really can't from the video stream, but we got the camera up high, what gives us a good angle. But we down here as audio, we are positioned pretty much behind the team, so at times it's hard for us to see over that. Back row, now Moore up to Sanders on the front row, and Sanders hits long. Tied up at 13 all, game 1. Here in match number 2 for both these clubs. Both teams lost in their first match. They're 0-1 at the state tournament. Sheehaw right to Lockwood in the middle, and it's blocked right back at her, right back to Lockwood. Now to Sheehaw. Sheehaw up to Lowry. Lowry to Lockwood. Double hit. Double hit on Lowry, number 5. When you're not used to setting most of the time, sometimes you run into that trouble. Sheehaw is your number 1 setter on this club. Marysville leading 14-13. Third hit coming up for Sanders. She's able to get it over to the net. Now right back to her. She hits the net, trying to hit it home. Sanders can jump. She's probably one of the best athletes from a female standpoint at Hoisington, and she's just a sophomore. 5'6", but she can jump. She comes off the floor for the first action of the tournament. Freshman Marissa Jonas. A point here on this far side, right side of the net for Hoisington. 15-14, Marysville up. This is Lockwood serving. Sends a high serve over the net. Marysville's able to get underneath it. Jonas and Lowry. Lowry gets over the net. We have not seen Wicks for a while, the 6'2" junior. The big hitter for Marysville's been on the bench. There's a big hit by Moore. It's blocked right back to Hoisington. Now Jonas, the freshman, tries to get a kill, but it's saved by Marysville. Now Marysville hits it right into the net. 15 all, we're tied up again. Hoisington went 1-2 in pool play last year, but somehow made it out of pool play with 3 teams tied at 1-2. They don't want to have to deal with that again this year. They need to win this one. Moore, big hit. It's blocked right back at her, and into the net was Moore as she followed through with a right slam, and she hit the net. Marysville gets served, and point, 16-15 for Marysville.
Hoisington's been called in the net a couple of times here already in this game. They've battled probably 5 times already, if my count's right, and it's, you know, a lot of times they're scoring points too when they go on the net. They need to have better control and not let their body go into the net there.
Just kind of a lazy hit by the sophomore Moore, and she hits it long. Wicks is back on the floor. She's 5'0". She's the tall gal in the middle, and they about hit her in the head with it, but the ball goes over the net. Now miscommunication again. Timeout, Bing Getzer. He's not a happy camper. The tie goes flying. Gives us a chance to thank some of our sponsors. Hoisington Rec Commission, Wilson State Bank, USD 431 Hoisington, Kathy Burt State Farm, First Kansas Bank, Town and Country Supermarket, Randy in Hoisington. You know he's been around a long time. with his parents. They've been around over 50 years. They have the freshest meat department with excellent beef, pork, and poultry cut and packaged on site, plus a full-service deli. Good luck, Cardinals, from your fans at Town & Country Supermarket. Hey, don't forget the good doctor, Dr. Blake Harris. Just because he does color commentating for Hoisington football, he also is a dentist. I hear he's pretty good. Is he a dentist, Mr. Woodcock? Did he do your teeth? He'd make your teeth that shiny? Out of the timeout, Hoisington gets served, trail, no, 18-16. Served by Lowry. Moore goes up for the block, and it's off of her fingertips at the back row. There's Sheehaw to Moore, and it's blocked out of bounds off Wicks. 18-17, Lowry will serve for Hoisington.
That was Wicks that time. She's 6'2". She doesn't get off the ground a whole lot, though, but she had great timing on that block and sent it right back into Hoisington's side of the floor.
Lowry, right-handed serve, barely gets over the net, and just enough it grazes the net, and it causes the ball to deflect enough where Marysville falls asleep on that back row and front row. They didn't know who was going to get it. Ties this game up at 18. Now Lowry with a long serve to that back row. It is recovered. Just see if Wicks can get a hold of this one. She does, but there's Hoisington. Moore. It's blocked, and Lockwood is on the back row, and she cannot get there to go for it.
Everybody for Hoisington was at the net that time, clustered in a group. Their spacing was really poor on that block. Lockwood was the only one there, and she had trouble getting to it.
Serve to the side, but there's Riedel. Riedel over the net. Wicks again, big hit, back to Riedel, up to Sheehaw. Moore gets it over the net just barely. Almost blocked by Wicks. Now Marysville will bump it over on 3. Up to Sheehaw. Nice set. Moore in the middle. It's a slam, but it's out. Just out. And Coach Bingesser is asking for a little help, and he's being pushed back by one of the officials, just with the arm, though. And Bingesser trying to work it. It was right there on top of the official, who was right on top of the play. Marysville serves up to 2018. Moore. Sheehaw. Moore. Blocked right back by Wicks. Now Sheehaw off the back row, Lockwood, this hit is in! From the back row, you don't see that very often, and when the junior 5'9" Lockwood, she came down and she powered that one home and was able to get it to go in.
Hoisington in a point of the game here where it's very crucial for them to score points. They're down 1, 20-19 as we end the end of this game, and a big service ace here by the libero, Riedel.
2011 All-Tournament team player. Her big jump serve hits strong onto that back row. Marysville gets called for 4 hits. Jordan Moore looked like she may have had a block, but the ball hit the top of the net and fell backwards. Timeout, Marysville. Hoisington has regained the lead 21-20.
Not only did Hoisington regaining the lead, Steve, but they are also in a position of power here with Michaela Riedel serving for them. The Cardinals a chance to get this one put away here, 21-20. They went through a spot in this game where they did not look good. They lost their composure. Marysville rattled off a few points in a row and went on a run. But Hoisington a chance here to go ahead and put this one away, leading by 1 with serve.
Marysville was the number 4 seed at the sub-state tournament. They knocked off number 1 seed Wathena Riverside in 2 straight games, 25-23, 25-19. And then held off Nemaha Valley in 3, 25-22, 19-25, and then 25-15. Out of the timeout, Riedel will continue with serve. She has a great jump serve. You'll see the official kind of go right beside her to make sure she doesn't jump over the line. 21-20, game 1. Hoisington up 1. Marysville back row will set it up. They'll try to get it to Wicks. They do. Wicks gets up, but it's blocked by Moore. And Sheehaw right back to Wicks. Wicks this time powers it home. And there's a Hoisington back row libero saving it again. Back to Wicks. Can she get this one home? She will, because Riedel could not get her feet underneath her. She had to kind of go to her right side. 21-0. Sub coming in for Marysville. Both teams in red and black. The difference is Hoisington has white trim. Marysville has black trim.
This is Caitlin Larkin, a junior, 5'7" for the Marysville Bulldogs. She's not coming to serve.
Moore from Sheehaw, but it's saved on a slide off the back row. Wicks from the left side. Lowry cannot get to it. Wicks is now on the other side of the front row, which is, as you look at it with the camera, the left side. But she's on her right side on the Marysville court. Marysville now up 22-21. Back and forth we go. Both of these teams need a victory. Serve to Lowry. Lowry bumps it up to Sheehaw. Sheehaw sets it over to Demmel. Demmel, a nice hit, but it's saved by Marysville. Now Marysville hits it long. Tied again, 22-all. The sophomore Moore. She has experience here at the state tournament, played last year as a freshman. She knows what it takes to get to the state championship match. She's just trying to get some points for her club. And she will! 23-22. Ball goes out of bounds. A nice serve by the sophomore, Jordan Moore. Jordan Moore looks to her coach. He says, serve it right in the middle. So she does. Tipped right back by Lockwood. It's saved, though, by Marysville. Right back by Lockwood. Now Marysville loses control. They can't find who's going to hit the ball. When they do decide, it's too late. One more point needed to wrap up game number one. And the sophomore Moore will send it over, 24-22. Game one, Hoisington trying to wrap it up. Demmel back into the middle. Lockwood, Sheehaw, here goes the kill by Lockwood. Can she get it? It is a tip. No, it's not. It is not tipped. It looked like it might have been off Wicks. So now Marysville will serve, trailing by one, 24-23. Timeout, Hoisington.
Marysville got away with a crucial error there, Steve. They had a back set that floated across the net into Hoisington's side, and Hoisington had a chance to kill that right away. They were unable to put it away, though, and Marysville came back and rallied and got a chance for Hoisington to hit it out of bounds over here on the far side, on Marysville's side of the floor. So now Marysville will have service. They trail by one. This has been a really, really great game. Both these teams going back and forth here.
GreatBendPost.com, live web TV coverage of Hoisington volleyball here at the state tournament. Steve Owens and my buddy Devin Haney. He is the play-by-play voice of southeast of Saline for football and volleyball from our sister station 99KG and SalinaPost.com. Landon Harmon, Ethan Woodcock, Peter McCool, and Mr. Tim Woodcock helping us here with the web TV coverage. Out of the Hoisington timeout, Marysville serves down 24-23. Lowry off the back row. This will be hit number 3. Sheehaw gets it over. Hoisington needs 1 point to secure game one. Marysville goes up for the big kill. It's blocked by Sheehaw. Now another big kill coming up by Marysville, and it's in. We are tied up at 24. We are going to have to go to at least 26. Must win by 2. Marysville has fought their way back, but not after Hoisington fought their way back.
I don't know if these two teams can get 2 points away from each other at this point, Steve. They are really battling here.
Sheehaw will set it over to the far side. Lockwood, it goes out of bounds. Out of bounds over to Hoisington. So now they have a chance to seal the deal with their all-tournament player, the setter, junior, Sheehaw. Sheehaw sends it over. Back row, now it'll be set in the middle. Can Hoisington find a way to put this one in the books? Off the back row, it's Moore, and it's saved from the back row for Marysville. Marysville kills it home, and it's right in there, tied again, 25. You know, Devin, last week, the sub-state final for Hoisington was won by Hoisington in 2 games, but game number 2 was 35-33, 32-30. Hoisington pulled that off in dramatic fashion. Now Lowry gets it over to the net with Lockwood's help. Back over, Riedel. Lockwood, tipped out of bounds, 26-25. Hoisington again a chance to seal the deal.
That's a ball that looked like it may be going out of bounds, Steve, off of Hoisington, but Marysville stuck a hand out there and got a hand on it, and it went out of bounds off of the Bulldogs.
Here's one of the sophomores, a lot of sophomores on this team, a young team, just one senior. Damel to try to end it. Hoisington up 26-25. Cross court hit, and it goes out of bounds. Out of bounds off of the front row of Hoisington. We're tied again at 26. How far are we going to go before somebody can end it? Just game one. We got to do this again. Heck, we might go 3 games the way we're rolling now. serve. It's a high serve, really soft. It falls in. There's Lockwood. She'll hit it long, but it goes long because it's out of bounds off of Marysville's senior Casey Prow. So again, Hoisington will try to close it out. Up 27-26. This is Lockwood. Lockwood sees what her coach wants, and she'll send it there. Marysville right in the middle. They'll send it home. Here goes Sheehaw. Far side. Saves it with Moore's left hand. She gets it over on hit number 3. Going up for the block. It's long. Hoisington wins it. Game number 1 in the books. 28-26. A big win for the Hoisington Cardinals.
Nice job there by Hoisington. Whenever you're serving up 1 and you only need 1 more point to go, you feel pretty good about your chances. And boy, they did a nice job there sticking with it on the net. They had good defense, saved the ball on their side, got it over to Marysville, and Marysville made a mistake on the ball with a long hit that went past the back row.
These two teams have never played against each other. They did not play last year in the 3A tournament because they were in separate pools. Take this opportunity to thank some more of our sponsors. Flyover Cafe over in Sault-Ste. Is today Friday. I get confused because of that high school football game that the Hoisington Cardinals won yesterday. Big win for the Cardinals as they rolled up on TMP there on TMP's home floor, 45-0. So they'll make a road trip Tuesday night to Holcomb. Holcomb has a good quarterback. He's rushed for 1,000, thrown for 1,000, so it'll be a tough test, but I think the Hoisington Cardinals might be able to pull that one off. But this Friday night, Flyover Cafe in Sault-Ste. One-man band, Charles Williams Experience. He's in action. Don't forget about those chicken fried steaks. I heard Michelle makes them from scratch. She still won't make me one yet, but I'm still working that one. Saturday night, it's the Halloween Conte. There's a contest and it's a party. Probably the biggest party in Barton County takes place in Sault-Ste. tomorrow night. I think you need to dress up. There'll be a band. They call themselves the Band Dirt. You ever heard the band Dirt?
I have not.
Neither have I.
I've heard some dirty bands, but I have not heard the band Dirt.
Well, the band Dirt's pretty good. One guy that sings a lot, he's in a band called Homebrew, and it's his birthday today. Kyle Jeffrey. His birthday. Did you sing happy birthday to him? You will? All right. We're set for game number 2. Demo will serve for Hoisington. Thanks for tuning in, GreatBendPost.com. Live web TV coverage here at the state tournament. Class 3A, surrounded by Centennial Center. Steve Owens, Devin Haney. Amel starts it off for Hoisington. They lead early on 1-0 as they won game 1. They got a little overtime action in volleyball as they went and won it 28-26. Now we're tied again, 1 apiece. It's Hoisington and Marysville. Marysville took Garden Plain, the number 1 seed in this tournament, to about as far as they could. Garden Plain won 2 games to none, but it was 25-23, 25-19 in that match. Sheehall sets it to Lockwood. It's saved by Marysville. Now Marysville taps it over, and Riedel thought it was going out of bounds, but it's right down the line. Point for Marysville.
Chasing down a score here, Steve, on the Silver Lake Hillsboro game.
Hillsboro pulled it out finally in 3 games. Silver Lake and Hillsboro, they won a lot of state titles here in Class 3A, and they did battle as far as you could take them. Won't be surprised if those 2 teams both advance out of that pool play. Marysville now up 3-1. They continue serve with Prail. Sanders, Moore sets it over the net on the 3rd hit. Now a big hit that goes out of bounds off that far side. It's a freshman, Rachel Heinman. She's 5'9", the lone freshman on this Marysville club. Very impressed with all the freshmen we're seeing so far here at this tournament. Every team so far has had 1 talented freshman at least out there. This time the freshman's able to send this one home. That right there in the middle is number 14, Rachel Heinman for Marysville. Here comes Wicks. You can't miss her. She's 6'2". You just can't teach height. I'm sure she plays a little basketball. 4-2, Marysville. They're going to set it up for Wicks. No, they will not. They'll bring it over to the freshman, and the freshman hits it to the back row. It's saved by Lockwood. Now Sheehaw will have to hit it over from the back row. Goes out. Just about 2 inches long. Jason Tynan, the head coach, pacing back and forth in front of us. Serve long. Moore, third hit, pushed over by the Libro, Riedel. Now Libros will go back and forth against one another. Now a big hit. This one by Sanders. It's in there. It was tipped out of bounds. But a nice hit by Sanders. 5-3 Marysville. Game 2. Hoisington trails, but they won game 1. Wicks just cannot get underneath. She was off balance and could not get that ball over the net. She was flat-footed trying to hit it also. Lowry back to serve again for Hoisington. She'll serve it down the line. It's saved in bounds. There, the big hit over by Wicks. My goodness, she can hit it hard, but she hit it long. If you hit it hard and long, and usually that's not going to work in a game of volleyball, because you got to hit it straight down and keep it in play. 5-5. Lowry continues to serve. One of only 2 seniors on this club. Freshman kicks it over. Sheehaw in the middle to the freshman. Moore is blocked by 6'2" Wicks. If you're going to try to hit that kill into 6'2", usually it's not going to work. If you see a 6'2" player coming up at you, you might want to try to just push it up over the top of her. High serve that thrown up into the air. There's Sheehaw. This time Moore tries to do it again, and it works because Wicks could not get the block. It falls into her lap. Point. Hoisington's tied up again at 6.
Again, these two teams, Steve, playing very close with each other. Neither team really taking control and getting up by 2, 3, 4 points. They're just back and forth, each other siding out, and just 1 point spread most of the time, if that.
Now back and forth they go. This time Moore is able to hit this one right inside the line, right in front of the judge on the sideline. Hoisington up now 7-6. How about Hoisington though? They play Sanders, Moore, and Damel. They're sophomores. A lot. Lockwood's just a junior. Sheehaw's just a junior. A lot of young players on this club. There's one of your juniors right there serving Sheehaw. Wicks, big hit, but it's blocked. Thought that one was coming back for Hoisington. Thought it was blocked, but I guess it was a double hit maybe. Not for sure what the call was there. I thought it fell on the floor on Marysville's side, but they get serve and point, tied up again 7. And lift, they'll call a lift as Wicks was there to block it right back at Lowry and Sheehaw. And then Kayla Riedel called with the lift. This is the freshman serving, Heineman. Sheehaw sets it, and there's Wicks again. She's getting her hand on that volleyball about every single time. Moore tries to hit this one home, but again, it's blocked by Marysville. Now into the net is Marysville, and they nod their head. They know they are. That's the sophomore, Coley Cudney. Marysville has 5 seniors on the roster. Moore serves, tied at 8. Game 2. First game was won by Hoisington. Sheehaw right in the middle, Lockwood. And into the net is Marysville. Point goes to Hoisington, who retakes the lead 9-8. Steve Owens and Devin Haney with you on GreatMenPost.com. Live web TV coverage brought to you in part by all of our fine sponsors of Hoisington Volleyball, like Nicholson Rickey Funeral Home and Superior Essex. A big hit by Damel, and Damel is able to hit it in, trying to save it. Was Degenhardt, and Degenhardt falls to the ground. She cannot do it. Big point, 2-point advantage for Hoisington. A setter called for hitting the ball twice. That's Paige Londahl, the junior. You don't see a setter getting called very often for a double hit.
That's happened several times with this crew, too. I've noticed that, Steve. They've been calling setters for a double hit, and I'm not saying I'm an expert at the game of volleyball, but I don't see what they're calling.
Right now, it's the biggest lead of the game, maybe even the match for Hoisington. We're in game 2. Hoisington now up by 4, 12-8. Timeout on the floor called by Hoisington. Boxberger Automotive Service. Laverne and Roxy Boxberger with Boxberger Automotive Repair in Hoisington. Wish the Lady Cardinal volleyball team good luck here at the state volleyball tournament. And Dr. Tyler Schremer, nothing ever stays the same, especially our vision. As we grow older, our eyesight can change dramatically in just 1 year.
Amen.
That's why the office of Dr. Tyler Schremer in Hoisington recommends, Devin, you need to get your eyesight checked annually so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Call Dr. Tyler Schremer, Devin, just south of Dairy Queen in Hoisington, and you might be able to see why they are calling a double hit on
That's
a setter.
A very good point. That's a valid argument right there.
Timeout, Marysville, trailing 12-8. Wicks with the power hit, and you see what happens when she's not right by the net. She just can't get enough control to power it down. Goes out. More serve. She's continuing to serve, extending this lead for Hoisington. Now Marysville will go to the other side, and it's blocked but out of bounds. Point and serve coming Marysville's side. Wicks will come out.
That was good court awareness that time by Marysville. That ball kind of hung up in the air, and it would have been tempting for somebody to go after that close to the boundary, but Marysville let it go. It dropped out of bounds. They scored another point.
2 more matches will take place following this one. Nice hit by Hoisington. Now a big power stroke this time by Marysville and into the net. The official will call it, and they'll say number 11 was into the net for Hoisington. I don't see number 11 out there. Maybe that was a 21. 13-10, Hoisington make it 14-10. Hoisington will get served back. A big hit coming down right there. So you got Lowry, Lockwood, and Damel all in the front row. Getting ready to serve is Sheehaw. Moore's also in the back row along with Riedel. Sheehaw serves, drops it right in the middle. The Libro's there to save it for Marysville. Now it's blocked right back to the back row. Nice job by Lockwood, getting high up into the air with her teammate Abby Damel, the sophomore.
There's attacks on the net that are quick and snappy. You see those out of a team like Garden Plain. They will actually come up and attack the net. They'll hit the set on its way up in the air. That time, Marysville, you could time that attack with a sundial. It was a very slow set, a very high set. It took forever for it to come down. And then on the outside, you can see Degenhart really took forever to get to the ball, but now she redeems herself on this point and gets one back for the Bulldogs.
As Sheehaw, or make it Michaela Riedel actually, was playing more towards the center and up. And the ball fell right behind her on the back row. 15-11, Marysville make it 15-12. Moore cannot get her feet underneath her.
That was a beautiful serve that time for Marysville by Paige Landahl. That thing crossed the top of the net, just barely across the top of the net, and then the bottom fell out of it and dropped right in the middle of the floor.
15-12, Marysville serves, trailing by 3. Damel trying to get it back for Hoisington. It's saved off the back row, and a big slam by Degenhart. And again, Moore cannot control it off the back row, cannot get down low enough to get control. Point, Marysville.
Degenhart's doing a lot better job after that one she had put back in her face. Her last 2 have been more snappy, more quick. She's attacked the net with a lot more power, and she has scored points for this Bulldog team.
Both these teams flying all over the floor, and reaching over the top of the net was one of the middle players for Marysville. So Hoisington gets the ball back, and they'll regain serve. Up now by 3, 16-13. This is sophomore Damel serving. She'll serve it long to the back row, but it's in play. Degenhart pushes it over the net. Now they'll set it with Sheehaw to Lockwood right in the middle, and is Lockwood in the net? Yes. Lockwood came through with the kill approach, but she hit the net. 16-14, still a tight match and a tight game. Court B, Cherokee is putting it all over Wellsville as they're up 23-13. Lockwood this time is able to get it in play. It was a beautiful set by Sheehaw. You can see why Sheehaw was named all-tournament team last year. She has some nice sets each and every time she gets that chance. 17-14, Hoisington trying to extend it. Sheehaw again, this time it's a long set over to Sanders. But Marysville finds a way to keep it in play. Back row, Lockwood up to Sheehaw. Sheehaw to Moore will get credit for a kill as she hit the back row player. I think that possibly was Ann Beeman. Julianne Beeman could not control the power of Moore off the front row.
Moore chewed Beeman up twice that time. Beeman nearly lost the first one that came to her. She was able to save and keep it in play, but that one didn't have a chance.
Now Degenhart up strong. Might have been out of bounds, but Riedel decided to go ahead and play it. Now Marysville will set it up one more time, and this time it's blocked. Goes to the back row. They'll set it up with Sheehaw. Sheehaw to Sanders. It's blocked right back to Sanders, though. She saves it. Now we're going up high. Degenhart, it's blocked again. Tip. Sheehaw, back row. Lockwood from the back row. Now Marysville gets it. Now it's blocked back to Sanders, and Sanders is able to get credit because Cudney could not control it. Nice play by Hoisington. The Lady Cardinals extend their lead, 19-14. Lockwood serves. Hoisington wins game one. They're trying to close it out here in game two. But there's Degenhart. Now Lowry with a nice save to Sheehaw. Beautiful set. There's Moore. Just taps it over the middle of the net. Nothing strong, nothing fancy. Marysville cannot get to it. Hoisington now up by 6.
Big point for the Cardinals. They go up 6. They crack 20. They start thinking about putting this thing away. And now a timeout will be called here by Marysville, Steve, as Hoisington tries to save this one and get back into a tiebreaker and a third game.
Moats Place in Beaver, family-friendly dining in a smoke-free atmosphere. Make this short drive for great food and friendly service. Innovative livestock services. Beef, it's what's for dinner. And Dairy Queen Hoisington. Leon and Becky Steiner at Hoisington Dairy Queen wish the Cardinals good luck at this week's tournament and all season. They say nice job. Hoisington Dairy Queen, open now 7 days a week.
I said get into a third game. I misspoke. Hoisington won the first game. That's my mistake. 28-26. So
you're allowed one all weekend. That's okay.
Well, I got cross-corded here. I was writing down the Cherokee Southeast Wellsville, the first game score there. Cherokee Southeast over Wellsville 25-15.
Nice serve by Lockwood out of the Marysville timeout. And Marysville is able to get the ball back just inside the line. Degenhart, number 5, will serve after getting credit for the kill. Marysville, though, still trailing by 5, 20-15. Wicks is back on the floor. She'll be in that front row. Point back to Hoisington as Elgar regains serve. Degenhart had a nice kill last time, but can't get the ball over the net. Lowry can, though. Right back to Degenhart. They'll set it up for Wicks. Wicks goes for the power hit. It's 4 hits, though, because Wicks could not get it over the net. 22-15. Hoisington smelling victory, smelling it for match number 2 for them. They need to win it. They lost their first match. Wicks, it's blocked. Saved, though, by Hoisington. Now it's power hit for Wicks. A kill. Credit 6'2" Wicks.
Marysville with a desperation shot there from Wicks, and you said it earlier, Steve, when she's off of the net, she's not very effective, but when you get her right at the net, she's very effective. There was a block earlier in that series, but then Wicks got it back, had another chance at it, and put it away for the kill.
Riedel, Sheehaw. Sheehaw sets it for Moore, and it's blocked right back over the net. Now Sheehaw again to Moore. This time Moore finds the bottom of the net and the bottom of the floor because 4 hits are called on Marysville.
It actually got Marysville that time in the net again.
Wow, 23-16. Riedel with a beautiful jump serve. It's barely saved by Marysville. Nice block. There's Degenhart. Degenhart keeps the ball in play. Wicks is there with a beautiful block as Moore cannot do anything about 6'2". 23-17. Marysville trying to hang around. They will serve. This is the freshman, Heineman. Heineman serves a soft serve. Sheehaw, Moore long. 23-18 now. Have you been as impressed as I have here so far of all the freshmen that have played.
They should have an all-state freshman team. I mean, this is incredible. We talked about Erica Montgomery for Southeast of Saline. There was a couple of freshmen here in this game. Garden Plain, I don't believe, played a freshman. But Marysville, Hoisington, Southeast so far, all of them leaning on freshmen.
Garden Plain did play a freshman.
Right.
Their libero. Their libero plays
exactly
the whole
right.
game. Moore's going to step up and serve, trying to close out this match. 24-18, and they will! Moore gets credit for sealing the deal with the ace. 25-18, back-to-back victories. 28-26, they won by 2. Had to go extra time in game number 1, but game number 2, a little bit easier. 25-18, a big victory for Hoisington as they move to 1-1 in match play. Marysville falls to 0-2. It's going to take a lot of work for Marysville now, because up next, it's the number 8 seeded Marysville Lady Bulldogs up against number 5 seed Southeast of Saline. Both teams will end their pool play after that match. Southeast of Saline's 1-1, Marysville 0-2. So you know Southeast of Saline's going to want to come back well rested, and that's going to be a big match. Lots still to come. We're going to sign off here on GreatBendPost.com. Now, if you'd like to follow the rest of the tournament, Southeast of Saline, we'll have that coverage with Devin and myself over on our sister station, SalinaPost.com. We'll have audio and video for you also, again, on SalinaPost.com at Southeast of Saline and Marysville. Again, our final, Hoisington defeats Marysville in 2 games. Hoisington now 1-1 in pool play. They are scheduled to play at 8:30, but we are a solid 20 minutes behind schedule, so about 8:50 we'll be back with you right here on GreatBendPost.com.